All right, it's been a second since I had a thought, but today I got a thought, so I'm sharing a thought. And I was thinking about there's so much time right now, right? Like, it's so easy to get bored. It's so easy to be doing like the same thing over and over again. It's so hard to like spend the time wisely. But it's funny because in our life, we've always keep saying like, "Oh, I'm too busy. I'm too busy to this. I'm too busy to that. I'm too busy for this." Right? Now, we actually got time. Like all the time in the world, like way too much time because we're stuck at home and there's nothing to do. We're literally stuck. And it feels like there's no sense of progress. And it feels like there's no sense of like opportunity to grow or do better. Except for it's like the perfect opportunity to grow and do better. And I wanted to record this video because I released a podcast on the Inclusive Activism podcast. So whoever happens to be listening to this, if you're interested in this idea, on whatever pod server you choose, go to the Inclusive Activism podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, whatever. It's there. But what I want you to understand is you get to invest in time. What are you going to do with this time investment you have? Are you going to watch Netflix till it runs empty? Are you going to watch YouTube till it goes empty? Or are you going to choose to start the thing you've been waiting to do forever? Now, if you choose to take my challenge and start the thing, what I want you to understand is the place that you begin at is going to be the worst space at first. Because inherently, the place you start at is furthest from the place you want to be. So, but if you don't start in the place that you don't want to be, you're never going to end up in the place you want to go. You have to start in the place you want to be least. So if you're working out and you can only do one push-up and you're like, oh, I'm disgusted, I'm so weak. Weak is the beginning of strength. If you're like, oh, I'm fired, but I've always wanted to create this business idea. Well, I mean, first off, file for unemployment. But second off, like, there's time to invest this in starting that idea. Now, when you start this idea, say you start a podcast, say you start videos on YouTube, like, you're going to start with nobody caring, and it's going to be the worst place. But unless you start in, like, the worst place, you're never going to get to the place you have to go. The beginning of everything is starting at the place you want to be at least. It is part of the process. Nobody is excellent the first time out. And if you don't believe this is true, go try skipping rope, like, jumping rope. I've been trying to do jump rope as an exercise. And guess who sucks at jumping rope? This guy does. I don't do it enough. I'm not that great at it. And it was funny is because I was at the gym the other day, like much, before now. And there was an old lady that was like, wow, you're not very good at jumping rope. And I say, hey, little bud, look, I got this guy. He's bringing some wisdom. He's got the wisdom for us. Yeah. Understand, the beginning of something is where you're going to suck at it. So when I was like can only do 5 jump ropes, that's the beginning. That's what it feels like to be the start. Like, the start of anything is sucking at something first. Then you get to get better at it. That's the process. So that's words of wisdom from me, Professor D, Rowdy Duncan, the inclusive activist, and my good buddy, my partner in crime over here, Tanky Boo, who's just always being perfectly him, no matter what. The start of something is the place you want to be least, but that's where it starts. If you don't start there, you're never going to get where you hope to go.